Good evening. I'm JR, host of West Virginia and Commonplace, and I got a few little things that I want to go over about YouTube and its new RSS integration for YouTube Music and for YouTube in general. I've been sending a link to fellow podcasters, so please, other podcasters, pass it along. But let's look at a few of the features real quick. Now, from the Google experience, I know that thing looks a little blurry, but I'm used shooting it from the capsule. That's the podcast feature right there. I'm going to show you what that does in just a second. Dang, this is kind of trippy. So you see my podcast right there. That's the video version. The Google TV version is not set up yet for the podcast. What you're going to see now is the mobile version of my podcast RSS feed, and you'll see the thumbnails for it, and it'll show an image, that thumbnail, and it will play my show, the audio behind it. The only constraints I found were if you don't have host read ads in there, it will not accept your show with dynamic insertion or anything like that. That's the only thing there, but you can see that it rolled through pretty much all of mine. The next person's that I went over was Beauty Unlocked. Hers was set up the same way. You notice that you can see her thumbnails there. And then the next one was Mind Triggers. They were another one that I talked to about it, and they had theirs already set up looking good. And after that, I'm just showing you how I searched for them and I added them inside of YouTube Music. I screen recorded this on my iPhone. And I looked at Beauty Unlocked first. Had a little spelling difficulty because I was trying to make this video as fast as I could. And you'll notice that I found Beauty Unlocked. And then I found the podcast under two different things. So just because I didn't know what was going on, I didn't know who Gerald Roberts was, I saved it under two places. And I found out that he's a podcast network guy. And then I did the same when I tried to look up Mind Triggers podcast. I went ahead and, this was Heather Ross that I looked up. Shout out to her and her amazing podcast. I looked it up and I was able to find her. And then, I had to put life coach in. And after I did that, it worked for me. As you'll notice, I found it right there. And then the next thing you know, I'm showing you hers. I saved hers to my library. So now she's part of my YouTube Music library. And this is where I went and looked for Mind Triggers. I looked for Mind Trigger Podcast. Found their podcast as the top result. And then I went from there. And you noticed on the Google TV version, it does not have the podcast set up properly yet. But you'll notice on YouTube on a phone, YouTube Music, how easy it is to set up and use. So every podcaster out there that has a podcast, Google podcast is dying. Get your podcast in order. Once again, it's JR from West Virginia, Commonplace signing off.